it is safe to say that Latto is big energy. But in her private life, she's allegedly living in the shadows with 21 Savage. If you haven't heard, Latto is pregnant, and the baby daddy is allegedly 21 Savage. And there's a wife involved. Now, as a counselor, I am not interested in the drama. Well, maybe just a little bit. But I'm also interested in the blueprint. Today, we're talking about Latto. But in general, why would a woman at the top of her game accept a secondary role? Why? Today, we're going to take a deep dive into this situation, and we're going to explore all the pieces that y'all keep missing. What's up, everyone? My name is Amy. I am a counselor. I've spent my entire career studying human behavior, child psychology, psychopathology, all of that jazz. And I'm here to help you understand the why behind the what. So go ahead and subscribe and let's level up your clinical eye together. In part 1, we're going to talk about the side chick paradox. This is going to begin with 21 Savage. How does a man maintain a marriage and an alleged secret life? Well, I'm going to tell you how men think about this. It's not just about 21 Savage, who's allegedly having a secret relationship with Latto. This can be for any man, successful or not. But I'm going to tell you what's going on psychologically, because many of you may have dealt with this. Many of you may have experienced being the side chick, whether you knew or you didn't know. When men and women are in committed relationships but then have outside affairs, what they often do is what we would call in clinical terms compartmentalization. The two worlds don't touch. But for the woman or the man who is put in the side chick or side dude category, the psychological toll is much, much more complex. What side chicks and side dudes experience is called limerence. Limerence is an intense fantasy-based love. And because side dudes and side chicks don't do real life with their partner, such as chores, financial budgeting, things like that, the relationship stays in a permanent honeymoon phase. Now, we all know what it's like to be in a new relationship, and the first 1 to 3 months are like amazing, burning passion for each other. Everything is cute. You got matching outfits. You hide in their closet and watch them sleep. Is that just me? Anyway, a side chick and side dude paradox is always high stakes, which can equate to high passion. So if this is an alleged situation between Latto and 21 Savage, they are forever in a honeymoon stage. That's why you can hear her when she wakes up, it's her man. When she goes to the bathroom, it's her man. Everything is her man. That means that you are always in a honeymoon stage with someone. Now, it can all come out that she was with a different man this entire time, and we can all be wrong. But either way, whoever she's with, she has this high passion that doesn't seem to go away. For a regular healthy relationship, the honeymoon stage usually goes away after 3 months. That's why you have that point where either people break up or they just, make it work. Now, let's go on to part 2, the mother's influence. To understand Latto's alleged tolerance for being the second, we have to go back, way back to when Latto was a baby. If y'all didn't know, Latto's mother, she had Latto when she was 15 years old. And in clinical terms, when you see this, that can often lead to parentification going on. This is when the kid either has to parent themselves, maybe due to neglect or abandonment. And I'm not saying that this is the case in Latto's life. I'm just using examples. Parentification can also come in the form of siblings having to be the parent to their younger siblings, maybe because the parent has to work so much to take care of everybody, or again, it could be due to neglect or abandonment. The third way that parentification can happen is if the parent is being parented by the child. So the child is essentially being the parent of the household. And this happens a lot when you have parents who struggle with some sort of substance abuse, or maybe have some certain psychological factors. I want to state again, I'm not saying that any of these situations are directly what Latto had to go through, but what I can say is that it's most likely due to this small age gap between her and her mother that Latto likely had to boss up and become an adult or think like an adult very, very early. And when you grow up in a non-traditional household or a complex family dynamic, you often feel that stable and public love is actually boring. That's like a whole different video in itself. Like if y'all want to see something like that, let me know, because I can point out a lot of examples and break that down for you. Being a ride or die in a complicated romantic situation would feel more comforting to someone who is not used to having a traditional family. While we're on the topic of families, we're now going to go into the father wound. So at age 16 is when a girl, they're trying to establish their identity as a woman. But at the age of 16, this is when Latto started to become estranged from her father. And we have to think about something. Think about it like this. When your first protector betrays you, or you feel betrayal by something or the actions of your very first protector and your first example of male love, your trust in men will be fractured. I'm not saying you can't heal it, but it is going to be fractured, and it takes some work to heal it. It takes lifelong work. When people experience fractured relationships with their father, they often seek what we would call an old patriarch. Okay, that's not any clinical term or diagnosis, but it's an old patriarch. And in this example, 21 Savage is older than Latto. And so a lot of times, like I said, when you have issues with your father and you're a woman, you more so seek older partners. It's about filling that void. But here's the catch. If you believe that love is conditional or transactional, whether that be through business or performance. Remember, in 2024, there was that whole thing when Latto admitted that she and her father had a strained relationship, and that he allegedly stole money from her, and that, he spread rumors that she was a part of a secret society and all that stuff. That would embarrass anybody. Imagine your father saying that about you, and you're a public figure. So whatever goes on in your family, millions of people know. That hurts, and that fractures the relationship naturally. When you experience and when you are made to believe that the love that you're supposed to receive from a parent, especially a father, is traditional or transactional, like I said, you will be okay accepting being a secret because you don't feel that you're worth being the priority. I hope you're writing this down. I'm going to check your notes. Now, those of you who are considering the wife, you might be asking, why? Why would the wife stay? Now, we can't ignore the wife. In the public, this is viewed as weakness. But clinically, we would deduce this to sunk cost fallacy. And what I mean by that is Kiana has invested years, children, and a brand investment in her entire marriage with 21 Savage, as anybody would when you're in a long-term marriage. She may be practicing what we would call compartmentalized forgiveness, which is where she is separating. When I say she, I mean Kiana. Kiana is separating 21 Savage in half. So on one end, he's a father and a provider, and on the other hand, he's a husband. If anybody invests a lot of time with a person, they would sometimes submit to the pain of infidelity than to deal with an uncertain future, because she knows what it's like to be with 21 Savage. She knows the type of father that he's gonna be for their kids. If you move on to someone new, you have to figure all of that stuff out. And a lot of people are not willing to do the work to find a new relationship after they've invested so much time. They would rather deal with whatever they got to deal with. With all of these celebrities that allegedly make so much money, why don't they move out of the country, go on vacation more? Why don't they? Moving abroad can be stressful and uncertain, especially if you don't know where to start. And that's why Americans Abroad Referral Service connects you to highly qualified real estate agents and those who will assist you with your move abroad. Email us today at americansabroad2@gmail.com and start your European journey. Here is the key takeaway. If Latto is really pregnant by 21 Savage, this is Latto's attempt to create a new family script. I'm just gonna be honest. But as a viewer, I have to ask you, do you think that you can heal a childhood wound by creating a new complex family dynamic? Because I want y'all to understand something. Real love does not mean that you have to shrink yourself for someone else to grow. Now, I want to say for the record, this is not an attack on any of the people that I have mentioned in this video. I am not bashing anybody that I named in this video. This is not an attack. I do not want anyone to use this video to attack anybody that I mentioned in this video. I don't even want you to fully agree with me. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I want to know what you think. I want to know if you've ever gone through this before and if you feel comfortable sharing, because everybody's life is different. I also want to say to Latto, I wish you the best of luck on your pregnancy. I think that the best thing, whether this is true or not, is for you to stay off of social media. I think all pregnant women should stay off of social media for the duration of their pregnancy, because I don't think that, with the blue light, the constant emotions that social media puts you through, you do not want that going into something that you're trying to bring forth into this world. So take a social media detox, live your life, okay, and really enjoy your pregnancy. And I want to say to anybody that if you ever have a situation that you want me to make a video about, or if you know any celebrity news or something like that that you want me to cover and give my clinical eye on, please let me know in the comments. If you also need somebody to just bounce things off of and just seek some actual advice and, just get a guide as to where you want to go, let me know. We can always book a session to just sit down and talk. I am not here to diagnose you. I will never diagnose you or prescribe you medication. I'm only here to help guide you to the person that you feel that you want to be. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you staying till the end. Shout out to you. Okay. And don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you can get caught up to date and sharpen your clinical eye with this pop culture stuff. Okay. Because we got a lot to talk about in the next few videos. So I will see you next time. Bye.